Hey everyone, so today I am doing a book review of The Final Six by Alexandra Monir. This book was released on March 6th of this year, and I did receive a review copy from the publisher HarperCollins to read and review. Unfortunately, I am back in my hometown for summer and I forgot to bring that copy with me for this review, so I apologize for that. They were so kind and they actually sent me an ARC copy and a finished copy, so thank you so much to HarperCollins. I was super excited for this book because it's science fiction and that is my favorite genre. This book is set in the future, kind of post-apocalyptic. The world is not in good shape. Basically everywhere is like flooding and they're having these terrible natural disasters and a lot of the population has not survived. But we follow two teens, Naomi and Leo. Leo lives in Italy and he's a really good swimmer. Naomi lives in California and she's super smart, especially when it comes to like technology and math and all that kind of stuff. And these two teens are two of the 24 that are recruited to take part in a space training camp that I believe like NASA and the government have like partnered together to create. And the point of this space training camp is to pick 6 teens to board a mission to go to Europa, which is one of Jupiter's moon, to kind of check it out. All of the scientists believe that it's habitable, so they want these teens to go to this moon and basically start new life so that the humans can escape the Earth that is crumbling to pieces. Basically, there's a lot of publicity around this space training camp and who's gonna get picked. So Naomi and Leo are two of the ones picked. Leo is super excited to leave behind his old life to hopefully be one of the final 6. Naomi's not exactly so excited because she still has her family. She has her parents and her brother and she does not want to leave them behind to go to this camp, much less to fly off to one of the moons of Jupiter. So they're in kind of two different places in their lives, but they're both going to this training camp. And so that's really where the story kicks off. I did end up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars, probably 3.5. I didn't love it as much as I was expecting to, but it was still really good and kind of hit me more on the emotional level than I was expecting. The whole story does take place at this space training camp, like the competition of it, because like I said, only 6 people get to go, but initially they start out with 24 people, so it's kind of like the Hunger Games. Like, it's very competitive. It turns into this really kind of like lucrative and secretive thing because Naomi is very skeptical of this, and so she starts trying to figure out what's really going on behind the scenes of this camp, why they want them to go to Europa, how safe is it really. And so she starts digging, trying to find secrets, and also she doesn't really want to go, so she's trying to figure out how to make this not happen. Whereas Leo is just gung-ho, ready to be one of the final 6, ready to go to Europa. So you definitely get two different perspectives, but I loved both of these characters. I personally felt that Naomi was a stronger character than Leo. I connected more with Naomi and I think she just had more depth to her character. I don't know. Leo had a lot going on because he had lost his family, he was on his own, so he has more of a tragic past. I enjoyed him as a character, but I had a stronger emotional connection to Naomi. But I do feel like the writing overall was kind of light and not super deep, you know. It was kind of light and fluffy, very easy to get through. It's a really short book and it's really interesting, so I definitely felt like I read it quickly. It didn't drag for me at all, and when I was reading it I didn't really want to put it down, so that's a good thing. But I also didn't feel like the writing was super descriptive or in-depth. But if you're in the mood for a quick, fun, like science-based read, this would be a good one. The whole story is the training, so it's really like they're at a NASA facility. They're introduced to all of this really complex equipment and all of the space shuttle stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, which I am, I found it really fascinating and a cool part of the story. Is it all totally realistic and based in science? I don't really know, but I didn't think, as far as the timeline goes, I don't remember exactly how long they were at the training camp for, but I don't think it was necessarily long enough to train these teens to adequately fly a spaceship and complete the mission. I think that was a little unrealistic, but they did have a short timeline to go by, so that's just what they had to do. The ending of the book was really crazy. Everything that the book was building up to kind of came together in the end, and just so y'all know, none of this book actually takes place on Europa. I don't think that's a spoiler because I kind of had it in my mind going in that maybe half the book would be training and half the book would be actually them on Europa, but that is not the case, just to warn you in case you were really, you know, excited about that part of it. I believe there's going to be a second one. With the way it ended, there has to be a second one, but I haven't really seen much talk about that. I really think the second book is where things are gonna get much more exciting. This book is more of like a day-to-day pacing, you know, they're training each day and finding out more information and, you know, weird things start happening, but it's not exactly like in-your-face exciting action. However, that didn't totally bother me because, like I said, the writing flows very quickly, so I didn't really get bored, but it wasn't as exciting as I thought it was gonna be. But that did give time to really build the characters and build this backstory and suspicion and speculation about this whole thing. And by the end of it, I felt really emotionally attached to the characters. I shed a tear or two at the end, I'm not gonna lie, and it surprised me. I didn't expect to be so emotionally attached, but I did, and so I think that's what's making me bump it from 3 to 3.5 is sort of my feels and emotions that I felt for the characters. But writing critically wise, it's definitely more of a 3-star book for me. But I think as long as you kind of know what you're going into, it's more of like a quick entertaining book with really interesting characters, then you may not be disappointed. But if you're going into it expecting like action-packed Hunger Games on Jupiter kind of story like I kind of was, then you're gonna be disappointed. Maybe even wait till the next book comes out so that you can read them back to back, because I really think the next book is gonna be the exciting action-packed one, and this one was definitely more developing the story and background and characters. It is a diverse cast of characters because they're from all over the world, so I really connected to the characters, and I think that was a really strong point of the book. Alright, so I think that's all I have to talk about with the final 6. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you've read this book, what you thought of it. I would also love to hear any of your science fiction recommendations because I love reading that genre. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Bye!